Breaking news overnight. Downtown Madison is waking up to more damage after looters go into the night. We're live with the latest on the destruction ahead.
Peace, plus peace, protests, and police. It is a mix that America is struggling to get right. How violent clashes are playing out across the country.
We're tracking big heat and a line of showers and thunderstorms that could do some damage overnight tonight. We'll break down the timing in your first warn forecast.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
And thank you for being with us, everybody. For the third morning in a row, people are cleaning up broken glass on State Street.
It's from looting that was largely separate from peaceful protests. Still, though, prompting a response from the National Guard as they marched downstate to protect businesses from more mayhem. Our Josh Breider's been on scene all morning. He's live with what things look like at this hour. Hi, Josh.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, now that the sun is up, we're getting a better idea of just how much damage was done last night. Take a look. We were in this place right here at this time yesterday, and I can tell you pretty much whatever business was not damaged the last couple of nights was damaged tonight. You're looking at Forge Kitchen right now. 7-Eleven also experienced some more damage. You can see some people already out here cleaning up this morning. That includes some business owners. We're also seeing a lot more volunteers helping out. And city crews, you can hear the leaf blower over there are also trying to pick up some of that glass before it starts to pick up here this morning. Now, as we talked about, the vast majority of those peaceful protesters left around 1 o'clock, and that's when police say the rioters came out here. And we spoke to someone that actually heard a lot of this happen, including some gunshots. Take a listen.
We came up to the bank, and it was going fine and all that, and then we heard about six gunshots come out of the bank, and then someone came running out. He was wearing all black mask and everything, didn't see his face or anything like that, but he started shooting a couple rounds in there, then his gun jammed, and we ran around the corner and hid.
And back out here live this morning, police have been monitoring the area. We did see most of the law enforcement and National Guard go home around 3:30 this morning, but they have been keeping an eye as more businesses come out here to try and monitor just how much destruction was done, that new damage overnight. Again, this is just developing. We're kind of checking in on some of these businesses this morning. Once again, the mayor did put that curfew in place again tonight. That starts at 9:30 and goes until 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. A lot of these businesses I spoke to are hoping for a quieter night tonight, guys, and we'll of course be following that throughout the day.
All right, Josh Breider live on State Street. Thanks, Josh.
So that looting, again, very separate from peaceful protests that stretched early into the morning hours. Demonstrators started at John Nolan yesterday, shutting down traffic during rush hour, then ended around the state capitol, where they linked arms and largely policed themselves with no officers in sight. Chief Vic Wall had made it clear earlier in the day officers would not be enforcing the curfew if protests stayed peaceful. Things started to wrap up right around 1 a.m. Demonstrators making it clear that anyone headed down State Street to cause destruction isn't part of their movement.
Breaking overnight in St. Louis, 4 police officers are in the hospital, shot during ongoing violent protests. The police chief says the shooting happened outside police headquarters during clashes with agitators. The officers are expected to survive. When addressing the media, the chief said that his officers have been showing great restraint in difficult circumstances. They had fireworks shot at them and gasoline poured on them. Gunfire was still erupting into the early morning hours there in downtown St. Louis. We're also following new developments from protests in Las Vegas this morning. We are waiting to learn more about the condition of the police officer who was shot in the head overnight on the Las Vegas Strip. Police are also responding to another officer-involved shooting at a courthouse in downtown Las Vegas. The suspect there was firing shots, police say, when officers fired back, hitting the suspect several times. No word on his condition.
In Buffalo, New York, 2 police officers are in the hospital after an SUV crashed into a police line. Officers were lined up in front of police headquarters when an SUV barreled into them. 1 officer and a state trooper were hit. Both are said to be doing okay this morning. The driver and the passengers in the car were immediately taken into custody. More than 100 protesters are under arrest in Oakland overnight for violating curfew there. Among those was a reporter.
I'm a reporter with KPIX5. I have my media credentials. Over there.
Officers moved in to make arrests after protesters started throwing things at a barricade blocking their path. That reporter you just heard from was detained until police realized she was allowed to be there. She was released and police issued an apology. Officers in Chicago count 65,000 calls into their communications center in the last 24 hours. That's about 50,000 more than usual. The city's police superintendent says around 700 people were arrested Sunday, following 240 arrests the day before. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is limiting access to the downtown area, trying to stop damage and looting from those protests. Only residents, businesses, essential workers, and of course police will be allowed. A 9 p.m. curfew is also in effect.
In Milwaukee, Police Chief Alfonso Morales says 109 people have been arrested in the past 2 days connected to the protests. Morales says that peaceful protests have been going on during the day, then turned violent at night. He says 24 stores were burglarized Sunday night, 11 other stores were damaged. To Minneapolis, where the protests began, Minnesota officials now say they have no evidence that a tanker truck driver intentionally ran his vehicle into protesters over the weekend. That truck there drove towards those protesters on the I-35W bridge in Minneapolis. The Department of Public Safety tweeted out that the driver was, quote, inciting a crowd of peaceful demonstrators at the time. But the department's commissioner is now pointing out that roadblocks were still going up when the truck was on the freeway. The driver was arrested and charged with assault. As of Monday night, he was still behind bars without bail. Around 2,000 people in St. Paul marched to the governor's mansion. Take a look at this from the sky here. They're calling for the arrest of the 3 former Minneapolis police officers involved in the fatal arrest of George Floyd. One of the former officers, Derek Chauvin, who you've seen with his knee on Floyd's neck, is in custody. He was originally scheduled to make his first court appearance yesterday, but that was postponed until the 8th. Court records did not give a specific reason why. We have breaking news this morning. The European Union is calling George Floyd's death an abuse of power. They say is, quote, shocked and appalled by it. We'll continue to update this as we learn more.
George Floyd's family has a message for protesters across the country this morning to stop the violence.
So if I'm not over here wilding out, if I'm not over here blowing up stuff, if I'm not over here messing up my community, then what are y'all doing?
Floyd's brother visited his memorial yesterday near where the arrest happened. An independent autopsy ordered by his family concluded the death was a homicide, saying Floyd died of asphyxiation from sustained pressure. The Hennepin County medical examiner also ruled Floyd's death a homicide, but blamed the cause on cardiac arrest. Meanwhile, boxer Floyd Mayweather says he will pay for George Floyd's funeral. A representative for Mayweather says he's been in touch with the family and they have accepted his offer. The funeral will be held 1 week from today in Floyd's hometown of Houston.
Chris Reese in now with a look at your forecast. We have an alert day on tap today because of some severe weather. Break it down.
Yeah, that's right. We do have that alert day on tap, and it comes with 2 different parts that we have to be aware of. One is the heat. Everyone's going to feel that as we go into the afternoon. The other one is the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms. Some of us will see the severe weather, but all of us will get the rain as we head into tonight. I want to start with the thunderstorm potential simply because that has the potential to be one of the stronger threats here. We're at a level 3 out of 5. That's an enhanced risk for severe weather really throughout most of the viewing area. That includes us here in the city of Madison. Once you get along the state line, it becomes a slight risk there, but that's going to be due to the chance of a complex of showers and thunderstorms diving from the north and west towards the south and east between 7 o'clock tonight and 1 o'clock in the morning. High winds, hail, large rain, or heavy rainfall. That's all going to be something that we have to be mindful of. A few tornadoes will be possible towards the center part of the state, but my bigger concern is going to be the wind and the hail. Some of that hail could be golf ball sized at times, and then the wind threats could be, or the wind speeds rather, could be as much as 65 to even 70 miles per hour. And then, of course, I do not want to let the heat go by the wayside. Folks, heat indices this afternoon could be as warm as 99 to 100 degrees. So as you head out before the storms get here later on tonight, you're just enjoying a day, make sure that you have plenty of water. If you're going to be out demonstrating on the Capitol, you'll want to make sure that you have water and ways to stay cool and hydrated as this comes on in. We're already at 70 degrees right now. Winds are out of the south and west. We will continue to warm up as we go throughout the day. Dew points are into the low 60s. That means the air is already starting to feel quite sticky. 84 by 12:30. Here we we are now at 5:30 in the afternoon. Temperatures will be right around 91 degrees. The showers and storms, though, they're starting to develop towards the north and west. They congeal into a line right around 7:30 and push towards the south and east. And folks, whenever you see these segments that start to bow like this, that's when you really have to be mindful of the hail potential and the damaging wind potential as this pushes on towards the south and east. But eventually, things will clear out as we move into the overnight hours. We'll see more sunshine into tomorrow. It'll stay humid. Temperatures, they'll top out right around 85 degrees for those highs headed into Wednesday. Another chance of showers and thunderstorms overnight Thursday into Friday. Saturday looks good with highs around 80. We'll watch more chances for showers and thunderstorms Sunday and then Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. By the way, other than today, the second warmest day of the forecast is Tuesday of next week. There's looking to be a lot of humidity that day as well.
All right, here it comes. Thanks for being on top of it, Chris. The nationwide protest could cause a delay to your online orders. Amazon is scaling back deliveries and changing routes in violent demonstration areas. The temporary safety measures are mainly for cities like LA and Chicago, but that could end up causing delays to items on their way here. And some rideshare and food delivery companies are also adjusting hours to account for curfews. Uber says that it's coordinated with local leaders to make scheduling adjustments. It says it already suspended service in Minneapolis, Oakland, San Francisco, and LA over the weekend. DoorDash and Lyft also say they'll comply with curfews.
You might be waking up to a blackout on your Instagram. People are posting black boxes to their social media accounts across the country this morning in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Celebrities like Chris Hemsworth, Kendall Jenner, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Steph Curry have all added the black boxes to their grid. The move, of course, comes after the death of George Floyd and in the midst of these protests in cities across the country. 6:11 now, $8 trillion. That's how much one government office is predicting we'll lose during this coronavirus pandemic. We'll tell you how many years they say a bounce back will take. It's coming up after the break.
Also ahead, we're live from downtown Madison as we wake up to day 3 of destruction and devastation after rioters take over State Street overnight. We'll have the latest on the new damage coming up. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. We thank you for that, and we'll be right back.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. From value-priced softeners to the world's best and even salt-free. No one has more solutions than Culligan to customize the best filtration for your home. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
From our family to yours, we want to encourage you to keep going. Keep protecting what's most important. Keep hopeful in the face of all this. Keep believing. Keep being strong. Keep supporting the people on the front line. Keep staying together while staying apart. Keep being fearless. And most of all, keep dreaming. American Family Insurance is mailing our personal auto insurance customers a premium relief payment to help them keep going. We'll keep being here when you need us.
The world may be shut down, but Mother Nature won't wait. Normal wear and tear on your home won't wait either. So if you need a home improvement, we're here to help. With exclusive offers to save you money on roofing, siding, windows, gutters, and design services, all with 0 down, 0% interest, and no monthly payments for 6 months. Plus free virtual consultations from the comfort and safety of your own home. Visit fryconstruction.com for exclusive money-saving offers and contact us today.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. We've created the best offer yet with our Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. All it takes is 10 minutes to reduce the appearance of under-eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet. Celebrities and even people across the country just like you look and feel years younger in minutes.
So I've had under-eye bags for a very long time, and it sucks. And I took the Plexiderm 10-minute challenge, and I'm not joking. It works.
I'm Neela. I'm a professional personal trainer. It's so important to take care of yourself. Plexiderm, seriously, it's amazing. There's nothing there, like the bags are gone.
The instant results are from naturally based silicates found in shell rock. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms, rapidly reducing the appearance of under-eye bags and wrinkles in minutes. So if under-eye bags and wrinkles make you look tired and older, try it today for only $14.95, plus get free shipping. Visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
New Colgate Optic White Renewal removes 10 years of yellow stains. That's like all the way back to 2010.
Do the doggy!
Remove 10 years of yellow stains with new Colgate Optic White Renewal.
Have you ever met Miss Lindy? She's a gal with the bright red hair. Now she stands high from all the rest. You know her
Power Centers of Madison. Visit powercentersofmadison.com.
Welcome back, 6:14 on this Tuesday morning. Josh Brutter coming to you live from State Street as we wake up to day 3 of more damage due to the rioters overnight after those peaceful protests. We'll give you a closer look at the damage here. We're near Lake Street on State Street this morning, and you can see there are already volunteers and business owners cleaning up once again. A lot more broken glass. We've been showing you this morning just some of those images, and pretty much whatever business was not touched over the last couple of nights was damaged in some sort of way last night. And we're also learning more of just how chaotic this scene got last night. Madison police saying this morning that there were even 2 people who were in the peaceful protest who tried to stop the looting and were beaten by 2x4s by a group of looters. We've seen a lot more of a police presence out here this morning. The National Guard and police dispersing a few hours ago once that curfew was lifted at 5 o'clock. Again, getting a better look at that damage, and we'll have more coverage coming up throughout the morning show. And you can also go to channel3000.com and we'll show you some of those incredible images. But another night of rioting and another morning of cleaning up, guys.
Yeah, one of the men who stepped in last night to try to stop some of those rioters ended up with 12 stitches on his face.
Unbelievable.
Very violent. Josh Ryder reporting live from State Street. Thanks, Josh. And we're still tracking new coronavirus cases in Wisconsin. Yesterday, state health officials reported 200 new cases. The total number of fatalities now near 600. In Dane County, the total number of positive cases has reached 737. County officials say although more than 14,000 people can be tested daily, 3,600 were tested since yesterday afternoon. A quarter of all nursing homes in the country are now reporting at least 1 case of the coronavirus. 1 in 5 had at least 1 death. Nearly 26,000 nursing home residents have died now. 60,000 have tested positive.
There is more evidence this morning that the drug remdesivir can help patients with COVID-19. A study from Gilead Sciences shows people on a 5-day course of the drug were 65% more likely to see improvement after 11 days. That's compared to those given the standard care. The results have not yet been published, though, in a peer-reviewed medical journal. Gilead says it plans to submit the full data for publication in the coming weeks. The Eli Lilly company is starting human trials for its COVID-19 antibody treatment. The trial's first phase will test whether the therapy is safe and well tolerated. Results are expected in late June, and if it proves effective, treatment could start by fall. The company's chief science officer says they've been working on this project since the start of the pandemic. It's actually made from a blood sample from one of the first U.S. patients.
6:17 right now. One of the top members of the White House coronavirus task force says he hasn't spoken to the president in 2 weeks. Dr. Anthony Fauci says they last spoke May 18th during a teleconference with the nation's governors. The task force has not met itself. The whole task force hasn't gotten together since the 28th. No word on why these meetings have been put on hold or if they'll continue.
The White House czar in charge of coronavirus testing is stepping down. Admiral Brett Giroir says he will be demobilized from his role and heading back to his old job at the Department of Health and Human Services. HHS says there is a plan to put a new leader at the helm of COVID-19 testing efforts. NPR reports the admiral will be stepping down within the next few weeks.
New figures show the pandemic could set back the U.S. economy by a decade and wipe out $8 trillion altogether. That is a dire new prediction from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. In a letter to lawmakers, the office said economic input will drop by 3% through 2030. So far, 42 million people have lost their jobs to the pandemic. The Labor Department will announce May's unemployment numbers Friday, which are estimated to be around 20%. You might be paying more to get that Amazon package to your door these days. UPS is adding a peak surcharge to delivery fees. It's the first time it's happening outside the holiday season. UPS says it's high. This is all because of the high demand right now for packages. The new rates are already in effect as of Sunday.
All right, 6:18 now. Chris Reese is keeping an eye on that alert day. Going to be a hot one today, Chris.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be incredibly warm. Temperatures will likely work their way into the low 90s. You factor in the humidity, and it is going to feel much warmer out there. Then we have a chance for some strong showers of thunderstorms to come on through later on this afternoon and evening. I'd like to start with that one for us, just because we could see some damaging winds as these lines of showers and thunderstorms come through. I also would not be surprised to see some hail and perhaps an isolated tornado. The timing on that's likely going to be between 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. In fact, I want to go ahead and show you the timing. This is as we go through the day. Here we are at 5 o'clock now. Temperatures are topping out into the low 90s. You're going to be sweating if you are outside at this point. That is for sure. And then here we are at 9:30. When you see these types of segments that like to bow out, we call them bowing segments as meteorologists. What's happening here, the reason you're seeing that is because all of the winds that are pushing this thing along are screaming out ahead of that. So that leads to the damaging wind potential. That's something we're really going to be looking for as we head into tonight and into tomorrow morning. And then eventually things should clear out throughout the overnight hours for us. Then there's the heat index later on this afternoon. If you're going to be outside, make sure you have water, wear light-colored clothing. There we go. Temperatures, or heat indices rather, will be feeling like 99 to 100 degrees in some spots. So it's going to be a real toasty day with some big-time summer-like thunderstorms overnight tonight. A lot of lightning will be seen and thunder will be heard.
Triple digits. It's not something that Wisconsin sees very often, Chris.
No, it is not. And I can at least say it won't actually be 100 degrees, but it will definitely feel like it.
Okay, we've been warned. Thank you, Chris. 6:20 now. The demand for hand sanitizer continues to outpace the supply. To help meet the need, the FDA is adding more companies to its list of approved manufacturers. The agency says it will open restrictions to allow some ethanol producers to make hand sanitizers. They do warn, though, that could mean allowing in some small amounts of impurities with their product.
A group of fishermen in Hawaii had a lucky day at sea, and now they're using their catch to feed local healthcare workers. Check this out. 5 men caught 2 yellowfin tuna totaling 220 pounds. That's a whopper, huh? It was sent to a seafood distributor to be turned into more than 300 poke bowls.
You got it this
which
time.
I learned are a thing this morning. Sushi. It's essentially just sushi, right?
Deconstructed sushi.
Whatever that means. Yeah, the meals were then delivered to 2 medical centers in Honolulu. The men said that they were inspired by another local fisherman who recently passed away, a 104-year-old who regularly donated the fish he caught to strangers in Maine.
I'm sorry, poke bowl's still less highbrow than yoga. We're having
so?
this argument, yes.
All right, I think some might argue with you. So it's National Dairy Month, everybody. Coming up after the break, we are going to show you how you can celebrate and support our farmers who are really struggling right now.
It's not all bad news. I will have some happy news to report, too, coming up. Stay with us. You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
With a nursing degree, helping others went from a job to a career.
Landscape design can be overwhelming. Our experienced landscape designers, horticulturists, and arborists work together to make any vision come to life. From planting to pruning, seeding to sodding, mowing to mulching, and everything in between, we are Barnes. Get started today at barnesinc.net.
Comfort Services, buy 1 air conditioner and get 1 gas furnace for only $1,000. BOGOs are back, and it's a beautiful thing.
What do you think of when you hear custom built in the USA? Superior quality, skilled craftsmanship, built to last? At Renewal by Andersen, our windows are custom built in the USA. That's something each and every one of us is proud of. We're proud of what we do, and we're proud of where we do it. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window.
Feldco season is here, and the signs are all around us. Like free installation on all windows, siding, and doors, and no interest for 1 year. It's time to jump on that home renovation project, and free installation all from the comfort of home. That gives you time to make the most of your Feldco season.
Free installation ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
At Machinery Row Bicycles, you'll find Wisconsin's largest selection of road and triathlon bicycles from Moots, Giant, Felt, Waterford, and Trek. Trek has a great lineup of sport touring bicycles that are great for day tours and charity rides. The place to shop for the world's most beautiful bicycles is Machinery Row Bicycles, the most beautiful bicycle store in the world. Free adjustments and service are included in your Machinery Row bicycle. So many fun things to look at and bicycles to test ride on the bicycle path by the lake at Machinery Row Bicycles.
This week, you're going to get more at the Brothers Made Memorial Day Super Sale. Get in now with more savings on more brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and Amana. Right now, improving your home is more convenient at Maine with up to 18-month 0% financing. And we make getting more easy with expert delivery free and our risk-free 30-day price and satisfaction guarantee. The Memorial Day Super Sale for more selection, more savings, and more satisfaction. It all ends Monday at the Brothers Made, your local store for more since 1938.
Landscape design can be overwhelming. Our experienced landscape designers, horticulturists, and arborists work together to make any vision come to life. From planting to pruning, seeding to sodding, mowing to mulching, and everything in between, we are Barnes. Get started today at barnesinc.net.
Okay, we're back at 6:25. Let's see who's sharing their morning with us. Well, Linda Watson, thanks for sending in this beauty.
Boy, this has me in the summer kind of mood, huh?
I know. It looks great. This is the kind of stuff we want to see. What are you doing in the morning? We want to see it. Just share it with us on social media. Use the hashtag MyNews3Morning, and your picture could wind up on the air, just like Linda's did.
6:25 now. June is National Dairy Month, and we found a way for you to help support farmers and folks in need during this pandemic.
Okay, so here's what they want you to do. So the Dairy Farmers of America, they are launching its Gallons of Good initiatives. They're asking you to post social media what you're grateful for, and make sure to use their hashtag Gallons of Good. The FDA is going to donate $1 to help local food banks buy milk from the Farmers Feeding Families Fund.
I'm going to say, Chris Reese, a tall glass of milk sounds pretty good on a hot day like today.
Really?
Milk was a bad choice.
Well, we're going to be seeing the heat later on this afternoon. 70 right now. We'll get that forecast after the top of the hour.
You people aren't from Wisconsin. Stay with us.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
To most people, the idea of fighting is unpleasant. But sometimes to make things right, it's necessary to fight. Some things are worth fighting for. If you or your family has been injured, you'll want a good law firm on your side to make things right again. Since 1930, Habish, Habish & Rotier has recovered more million-dollar results for our clients than any other law firm in Wisconsin. Habish, Habish & Rotier. We fight for what's right.
It's time to get serious about your lawn. It's time to step up to the best mower brand money can buy. For nearly 4 decades, Skag has been the easy choice for lawn care professionals. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best when it comes to mowing your lawn. There's sure to be a Skag model that's perfect for your yard, big or small. Make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood.
Power Centers of Madison. Visit powercentersofmadison.com.
We've got the power! Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection remains open to serve our customers and communities during these times of uncertainty. We've got you covered for all your plumbing service needs. Call us for help. We are here for you.
At Papa Murphy's, we knead seriously, chop seriously, and shred seriously. Because we're serious about Tuesdays, even if you're not. Every Tuesday, get a large pizza for just $10. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV. Well, I get tons of HD. Spectrum has tons of HD, and we love Spectrum's 24-hour local news channel. Plus, we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals. I don't have that.
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-976-4499.
Spectrum Internet starts at 200 megabits with no data caps and a free modem.
We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel.
Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours.
That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-976-4499.
Breaking news overnight, a peaceful night ends in more destruction. Coming up, we're going to have the latest on two separate groups taking very different actions on State Street overnight.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
And thank you for being with us this morning. Madison's curfew order has been lifted for right now. It'll go back into effect tonight. Those protesters stayed out into the early morning hours without issue.
Yeah, there still is cleanup needed, though, after a separate group of looters hit State Street overnight. Josh has been on the scene all night. He has a look at the aftermath this morning. Good morning, Josh.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, those volunteers and some city leaders, also those business owners, are out here in full force this morning. We're near State and Lake Street this morning, where more of these businesses did suffer more destruction. You're taking a look at Forage Kitchen. You'll remember I was here yesterday, and Forage was virtually untouched. A lot of these businesses that hadn't been touched did receive some damage overnight. And again, what happened last night is there was a peaceful protest up until about 1 in the morning. Police say those peaceful protesters left the scene, and that's when several groups of those rioters came in and started with more destruction and more looting overnight. There were several people that were arrested. So once again, here we are, day 3, waking up to more destruction. That curfew did go up at 5 o'clock, but the mayor did extend that again tonight. We will have that curfew going into place at 9:30 tonight until 5 o'clock in the morning. A lot of the business owners around here are telling me that they just are hoping that we can get through this together. Everyone's out here again working together to clean things up. They're hoping that we can kind of get back to that peacefulness again down here soon. And guys, I do want to end with some happy news this morning, some good news. I know I'm not alone in the fact that I feel like we've been walloped over and over with some bad news. First off, it's been great to see the community members coming out here this morning and helping once again get these people back on their feet. Second of all, the mayor's office said there is actually going to be some artists out here trying to beautify some of the plywood throughout State Street to try and make it a little bit more positive messages. They're going to be out here kind of putting those things up. And finally, I have to give a shout out to Starbucks this morning. The manager here of 15 years, she actually brewed some coffee for all of the news crews that have worked well into the night. We were out here early this morning. It's good to see that everyone's just coming together and everyone just wants, you know, a little bit of peace in all of this. And you have to remember through all of this, you have to look at the good things and you have to remember that we are going to be okay. We're going to get through this together and we will do this, guys.
Josh, great message there. And it looks like some of the businesses are actually opening up today. Starbucks is?
Yeah, some of those businesses, including Starbucks right behind me, they're still doing mobile orders. There are several businesses that are still having to contact their insurance and stuff to make sure that they can actually be open. Paul's Books is one of them. I talked to the owners in there, and they've been obviously a staple of Madison for a very long time. They tell me that they don't think anything was stolen last night. The glass is fixable. They just want a piece again, and they just want everyone again. They're listening. Everyone's listening out here. They're just hoping to get through all of this, guys.
All right, Josh Brighter with a little perspective for us this morning. Josh, thank you. Stay safe out there.
Now, protest organizers wanted to emphasize that the people doing the damage on State Street were entirely separate from what we saw most of the day and night yesterday. Peaceful protesters started with a demonstration on John Nolan Drive around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. They made their way to the Capitol in the afternoon and stayed until about 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, our Madeline O'Neill, who was at the scene, heard organizers say anyone who didn't leave with them at that point at 1 o'clock in the morning isn't with them in their mission. That's when the groups split.
Some more breaking news overnight. A man is in custody this morning facing domestic abuse charges after a standoff in Sun Prairie. Officers say Brandon Nelson had barricaded himself in his car, telling police he had a handgun and they'd have to kill him to get him out. Neighbors had to be evacuated while Dane County brought in its armored vehicle to negotiate with Nelson for 3.5 hours. Ultimately, crews used gas to get him out of the car and under arrest safely. Nelson now facing a number of charges, including substantial battery, strangulation, and false imprisonment.
6:33 to the nation's capital. Arlington police are withdrawing their police force from Washington, D.C. In a statement, the county says they are reevaluating agreements that they say put their officers in a compromising position, endangering their health and the safety of the people around them. It comes after peaceful protesters and journalists were tear-gassed and shot with rubber bullets to clear the way for the president. The president minutes later made an appearance at St. John's Church. The church was set fire over the weekend during the protests. New this morning, D.C.'s Bishop of the Episcopal Diocese says she's outraged by the president's visit. Bishop Marianne Edgar Buddy says that the president didn't pray when he came to the church and didn't acknowledge the agony of our country right now, especially for people of color.
President Trump says he will deploy the military against protesters if local leaders can't stop violence in their cities. States are the only groups that can activate the National Guard, but the president says he plans to send, quote, thousands and thousands of armed soldiers to Washington, D.C. 200 were moved to the area to be ready on short notice if needed. Meanwhile, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is speaking up against the president. In an interview with CNN, he said the president has, quote, created an incendiary moment. Pritzker is accusing the president, of using the protests as a distraction from the coronavirus response. President Trump had mentioned the governor in a phone call earlier in the day, saying he doesn't like Pritzker's rhetoric.
Louisville's police chief is out of a job this morning after 2 officers involved in the fatal shooting of a black business owner didn't turn on their body cameras. Police say the shooting happened when officers tried to break up a group of protesters. They say someone shot at law enforcement. Officers fired back. The city's mayor, though, says this is an institutional failure and will not be tolerated. The victim is being identified by his family as David McAtee. The Louisville Police Department says they'll review the incident with Kentucky State Police having independent oversight. The National Guard will also investigate.
FBI agents in Minneapolis are asking for the public's help in reporting violence during riots. The organization says they want to protect protesters' First Amendment right to peacefully protest, but they do say they will investigate when property is damaged or people are in danger. They're specifically looking into incidents where fires were set or flammable or explosive materials were used.
Protests demanding justice for George Floyd are going global now. Video here from Montreal, Canada. Demonstrators there gathered outside the police headquarters and marched through the downtown without any incident. But about 3 hours later, it turned violent. Protesters threw things at officers who fought back with pepper spray and tear gas. We've also been seeing similar demonstrations in places like London, Paris, Milan, and Berlin.
6:36 now. We have an alert day on tap for our Tuesday. Chris Riss is here to break it down for us. Hi, Chris.
Yeah, that's indeed the case, Leah. Our pattern's been driven by this big dome of heat that's developed over much of the country. And when you're on the northern edge of that, oftentimes you get these showers and thunderstorms that rise up and go over the edge of those ridges of heat. Well, this is what's influencing our weather as we head into tonight. Today, it's flexing some muscle. Notice Madison is really being influenced by the heat there. But as we move into tonight, we start to see this collapse just a little bit further towards the south. That puts us right into the zone to see those showers and thunderstorms. That's the reason for the alert day. Right now, though, the heat is going to be the big story. Already 70 degrees this morning. Dew points are into the low 60s, and the relative humidity is around 80%. So it is certainly humid out there. We will continue to add to the moisture in the air as we go throughout the day. 70 in Janesville as well. Same for Mineral Point. Good morning to you guys. Platteville coming in at 69. You see those winds out of the south and west. That will continue to bring in that heat and humidity, and eventually the heat index will certainly respond to that. This is 10:30, folks. Heat indices will be around 87 to 90 degrees. Then once we get you towards the peak heating of the afternoon, look for those heat indices into the upper 90s to near 100. It's after that that attention will turn to the potential for some showers and thunderstorms. Actual air temperatures, they'll be right around 91. This is 5 o'clock, but pay attention to what happens towards the north and west. 9 o'clock now, and we will see this line of showers and thunderstorms starting to push towards the south and east. So I'm stopping this at 10 o'clock. Well, at this point, we'll have a pretty strong line of showers and thunderstorms in the state of Wisconsin. And one of the things you have to be mindful of is when you see these Boeing segments such as this, these are the winds racing out ahead of the complex of thunderstorms that actually work to fuel the energy in these thunderstorms. So this is why you'll have the damaging wind potential. You also have the hail potential and the heavy rain potential associated with those. Given that, we do have an enhanced risk. That's level 3 out of 5 for severe storms as we go from 7 p.m. to 1 o'clock in the morning. High winds and hail, those are going to be the primary things to watch for. While yes, a few tornadoes will be possible, it's winds around 65 to 70 miles per hour we need to be mindful of, and then the potential of some hail, but in some spots that hail could be as big as golf balls. Not everyone will see that, but make sure that you are at least least aware of that as we head into the day. Then from there, we'll quiet down a little bit as we go into Wednesday. It'll still be very warm and humid on Wednesday. Temperatures top out around 85 degrees, a little less humidity for the weekend. We'll also see a little chance for some showers and thunderstorms Thursday night and Friday. I don't want to skip that one. Then we turn towards next week. The heat comes back. We could be into the upper 80s, close to 90 again with more humidity by Tuesday. But for now, my attention is on today, along with what we could see later on tonight. I've updated channel3000.com with the full forecast. I'll continue to update the website and social media throughout the day.
Chris, you out of breath yet?
Maybe.
A lot of stuff going on.
There really is. We've got to keep folks up to date, though.
Chris, keeping us in the know. Thank you very much. 6:39 now. Voters in 9 states and Washington, D.C. will cast their ballots today in the biggest primary since Super Tuesday. Several of these primaries were originally scheduled for April or May, but were postponed because of the coronavirus. Several cities have expanded mail-in voting options as a result. Presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden needs just over 400 more delegates to clinch that nomination. Here in Wisconsin, meanwhile, the state Supreme Court is about to hear a case to purge up to 129,000 registered voters from the rolls before November. Democrats are against it, saying it's intended to make it more difficult for voters to cast ballots. Conservatives brought on the lawsuit. They argue the integrity of the vote is at stake. They say when records indicate voters might have moved, their registrations should be deactivated.
We're a week away from the earliest date where Dane County could reopen, and we are seeing some changes in where we stand with the criteria to do so. Take a look here. We have a red mark now next to lab reporting. This essentially means labs aren't reporting cases quick enough to make sure that they isolate and quarantine right after someone is diagnosed. All the other criteria remains relatively stable. Wisconsin now has more than 18,000 positive cases total. 64% of those have recovered. New numbers from the federal government show nearly 26,000 nursing home residents have died from coronavirus. More than 60,000 have been infected. Those figures don't account, though, for the nursing homes across the U.S. that aren't reporting. 80% of nursing homes nationwide do report their numbers to the CDC. 20% have failed to do so and could face fines if they don't. More damage overnight. We are giving you a first look at looting along State Street this morning as the National Guard stepped in overnight to protect businesses.
And we're giving you a live look at the White House in our nation's capital this morning, one of a number of cities still dealing with protests as the week goes on. We'll have the latest developments from D.C. that's coming up in the morning sprint. Stay with us.
Habitat for Humanity of Dane County helps hardworking families get a hand up into stable housing. Habitat homeowners put in sweat equity and often have multiple jobs to pay the low-interest mortgage on their home. Strengthen our community. Support Habitat Dane County.
The law offices of Gingras, Thompson, and Walks are here to support our community through this challenging time. We thank everyone bringing invaluable services to our neighbors. The Gingras, Thompson, and Walks team remains available to assist in any way.
RHD Plumbing has the most reliable professionals in the industry. With honesty you can trust to deliver quality products and workmanship, dedicated to being the best. RHD Plumbing now offers complete bathroom and kitchen remodeling, the best plumbers, and everything else you need to finish your dream project. For your home or business, get the job done right the first time with no surprises with the reliable, honest, and dedicated plumbing professionals of RHD Plumbing, proud partner of the Green Bay Packers.
Duracell Optimum will be right where you need them today, tomorrow, the day after that, and the day after that, day after day. Packaging designed to make storage easier. Duracell Optimum.
Work smarter. Use the cloud to securely print, scan, and collaborate. GI Office Technologies, helping businesses like yours.
Goben Cars grand opening sale, beautiful Middleton. 2017 Nissan Sentras, Hyundai Elantras for only $79.95 or $129 per month.
That's right. Buy 2017 Nissan Sentras and Hyundai Elantras for only $79.95 or $129 per month.
Goben Cars is selling 2018 Kia Fortes for only $89.95 or $149 per month.
Hurry in today and just ask for my dad, Don the Dealman Goben.
Or my daughter, Crystal the Pistol Goben.
You gotta go to Goben, GobenCars.com.
In this challenging time, Wisconsin's dairy farmers remain committed to your well-being.
We're still in the barns every day.
producing real, nutritious milk for your table, and products like cheese, yogurt, butter, ice cream, and more.
We're all in this together. And our passion for feeding Wisconsin's communities is stronger than ever.
Download the Channel 3000 app today.
On the next Live at 4, we'll get a COVID-19 update in the state from UW Health's coronavirus experts.
And Consumer Report shows us how to child safety-proof your home while at home.
Connect with News 3 Now on Facebook Messenger to create a personalized news feed just for you. The topics you want, the day's top stories, and push alerts for breaking news, all through Messenger. Learn more at channel3000.com.
So as police officers face off with protesters across the country, we want to take time to show the officers who are doing something about it. They're taking time and they are listening. Remember that? Listening to folks in their community.
Might be a foreign idea to some. Take this officer in Flint, Michigan. Protesters there remained peaceful and made a real connection with Sheriff Chris Swanson. You might have seen him before. Videos of him talking with protesters going viral online right now. He asked the crowd how he could help them. They asked him to walk with them, and he did, calling it a parade and not a protest.
And we can't forget, on all our police cars across the nation, it says protect and serve. Protect and serve. That means all people. That means all people deserve the same dignity.
We are seeing other officers across the country showing solidarity with protesters as well. Police in parts of Florida, Ferguson, Missouri, and Houston have all been photographed standing or kneeling with these protesters.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to, these officers are put in incredibly stressful situations, and it's getting to a lot of them. It is so encouraging to see them take these moments and listen. I mean, I think if a lot of us listened more right now, we could do a great deal of good.
Josh mentioned it earlier, but just taking a second to find a little bit of positivity, a little bit of perspective in these stories. I'm glad we shared these images.
Yeah, it's important we do so. 6:46 right now. Checking in with Chris Reese, your first warn forecast. And it's an alert day.
It is an alert day, twofold as well. We have the big heat that we're going to see this afternoon, and then it's the strong thunderstorms that we're going to see later on tonight. But already, look at this shot over Madison, how hazy it is. Whew, it's going to be a humid day out there. We're starting out at 70. Dew points are already at 63, so we're at the point where your clothes start to stick to you a little bit. And our dew points are only going to be increasing as we go throughout the day because we have these winds out of the south and west. It's pumping in that moisture from some of the hottest parts of the country right now. We don't have any showers or thunderstorms at the moment yet, but we will in time. I want to go ahead and point out these showers or thunderstorms that you see over parts of the Dakotas. That's eventually going to be the thunderstorm complex that races its way towards us and south central Wisconsin later on this afternoon. Temperature-wise, we'll top out at 91. Here we are now at 9:30, and there's the big line of showers or thunderstorms coming through. It'll bring with it the potential of high winds. Some of those wind gusts could be in the 65 to 70 mile per hour range. Some of the hail in isolated spots could be as big as golf balls at times. And I cannot rule out an isolated tornado. And again, most of these are going to be localized spots. I'm not expecting just a widespread bulldozer of thunderstorms to come through, but still, nonetheless, that potential will be there for some stronger storms. We're going to keep you up to date on that all day long.
All right, thank you, Chris Reese. Okay, mark your calendars, folks. The American Red Cross is holding a pair of blood drives later this month in memory of Levi Linscheid. Levi is Leah's brother. He was killed in a car crash in October. Now, there is one blood drive going on in Platteville. That's where Levi went to college, where he lived, where he worked. There's another in their hometown of Highland. The blood drives are June 11th at the Armory National Guard Armory in Platteville and June 12th at St. Anthony Philip Parish in Highland.
Now, I asked for us to run this story this morning, and I really thought it would be a little bit easier. You know, it's been 9 months, but it never gets easier to see that sentence that Levi died in a car crash. So it's still hard. But like I said earlier, it's important for my family to find some light from our loss and try and continue to keep Levi's memory alive. And I think this is a great way to do it. So thanks to the Red Cross for giving us this opportunity.
All right, mark your calendars, the 11th and 12th, Platteville and Highland. Make sure you or somebody you know can make it out there. Stick around, the Morning Sprint is next.
Go to Amazon. Amazon.com skills to enable Channel 3000 news briefs.
Home is dancing because no one's watching. Home is a reason to disturb the peace. Home is laughter. Home is where heads come to rest. A place to let go and a place to find again. At Stanley Steamer, we love home, and we know that a clean home is a healthy home. We're ready when you are.
From our family to yours, we want to encourage you to keep going. Keep protecting what's most important. Keep hopeful in the face of all this. Keep believing. Keep being strong. Keep supporting the people on the front line. Keep staying together while staying apart. Keep being fearless. And most of all, keep dreaming. American Family Insurance is mailing our personal auto insurance customers a premium relief payment to help them keep going. We'll keep being here when you need us.
Have you ever met Miss Lindy? She's a gal with the bright red hair. Now she stands out from all the rest. You know her anywhere. Where she's mine. Yeah, she's mine. My Miss Lindy. She's my Lindy. My only Lindy. Well, I love that little girl.
Power Centers of Madison. Visit powercentersofmadison.com.
The Leadership Development Program is designed for people who at some point intend to become supervisors. It would open the doors for you for a lot of different types of positions where you're going to have people reporting to you. The number one reason I would say students should come to Blackhawk Tech is that they're going to get a great education from great instructors who understand, make the learning more applicable to them, a real quality education at a very reasonable cost.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? A cool breeze on a scorching day, a cozy corner on a cold night, or knowing every room of the house is as inviting as the next. Comfort means more than just the temperature, and the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable, like cool cash rebates of up to $1,650. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Kurt Schlickow, Heating and Cooling, serving Sauk County and surrounding areas.
Call us at Greiber Heating and Sheet Metal.
Serving the Dane County area.
Wisconsin is getting back to business.
What's your plan?
Before you say,
sorry, we just can't do that.
Before you say, we're not ready.
Before you say, we don't have capacity.
Put us in your plan.
Let us help you get back to business.
Are you ready?
whether it's a labor shortage,
it's a mandated closure,
we're here.
We've been here.
We'll be here.
From assembly
to packaging and everything in between.
Let's get to work, Wisconsin.
Get the facts with Reality Check, only on News 3 Now.
6:52 in time for the morning sprint.
We start with the third day of demonstrations downtown, with this latest one looking a little different.
PD is doing everything in their power to stay out of it.
Protests stayed peaceful throughout the night. Demonstrators staying out until about 1 this morning. Those protesters made it clear anyone who didn't leave with them at that point wasn't a part of their movement. That's when the damage started. Here's a rundown of some of that damage. Chief Vic Wall says a separate group of looters broke into stores, sprayed graffiti, and damaged property. One person fired several shots into the air from a handgun. 2 people were attacked by a person with a crowbar. Someone tried to light Molotov cocktails at one point, prompting tear gas from police. The National Guard was also called in to assist. 9 people were arrested.
And out here live on State Street this morning, cleanup is underway for a third morning in a row as more destruction for area businesses. Take a look at some of the damage from overnight. This is Forage Kitchen right here near State and Lake right now. You can see the broken glass. This is much of the scene that we're seeing throughout much of State Street this morning. We've reported the last couple of days. Most businesses that were untouched last couple of nights did receive some sort of damage last night. That includes Forage Kitchen, Paul's Books, and also some more damage to area businesses down here. Business owners and volunteers are out here cleaning up once again, as well as city crews, and we'll be monitoring those developments throughout the day.
All right, thanks, Josh. A man in custody this morning facing domestic abuse charges after a standoff in Sun Prairie. Officers say Brandon Nelson had barricaded himself in his car, telling police he had a handgun and they'd have to kill him to get him out. Neighbors had to be evacuated while Dane County brought in its armored vehicle to negotiate with him. 3.5 hours later, officers used gas to get Nelson out of the car and arrested him.
Breaking overnight, Arlington police are withdrawing their police force from Washington, D.C. In a statement, the county says they're reevaluating agreements that they say put their officers in a compromising position, endangering their health and the safety of the people around them.
This comes after peaceful protesters and journalists were tear-gassed and shot with rubber bullets to clear the way for President Trump yesterday. The president, minutes later, made an appearance at St. John's Church. The church was set on fire over the weekend during protests.
New this half hour, there are now as many National Guard members activated in the U.S. as there are active duty troops in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan. Nearly half the U.S. has activated Guard members to respond to ongoing protests sparked by George Floyd's death. That comes out to more than 17,000 members. There are an additional 45,000 members supporting the coronavirus response across all 50 states and Washington, D.C.
Louisville's police chief is out of a job this morning after 2 officers involved in the fatal shooting of a black business owner didn't turn on their body cameras. Police say the shooting happened when officers tried to break up a group of protesters. They say someone shot at them, and then they fired back. The city's mayor says it's an institutional failure and it won't be tolerated. The victim is being identified by his family as David McAtee.
New data just into the newsroom this half hour. A new CBS News poll finds 57% of Americans think police treat white people better than black people. 78% of black folks agree. When it comes to political affiliation, most Republicans feel police treat everyone equally. 80% of Democrats see different treatment for black people.
Or a week away now from the earliest date that Dane County can reopen, and we are seeing some changes to where we stand in the criteria. We now have a red mark next to lab reporting. This is essentially means that labs aren't reporting those cases quick enough to make sure that they isolate and quarantine patients right after diagnosis. So all other criteria are relatively stable. Wisconsin now has more than 18,000 positive cases. 64% of those patients have recovered.
We do have an alert day in the forecast for today and tonight. That's going to be due to the heat today and the strong thunderstorms that we could see later on this evening, likely between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. We're at an enhanced risk. That's level 3 out of 5 for the strong storms. We're going to be looking at the potential for high winds and hail, though heavy rain and a lot of lightning will also be expected. Daytime high temperatures, they'll top out right around 91. Then we'll see those showers of thunderstorms move throughout the overnight hours before clearing out into tomorrow. Heat indices today will be as high as 100 degrees.
All right, thanks, Chris. And thank you for watching. Have a good day.